So, if you have a live stream and there's no one there to watch it, does it really count as a live stream? These are the kind of questions that I have when I'm at home, alone, and the power is out. Hi, folks. It's me. It's Tobias. We're here once again, here in the room known as Away, in the house known as Ororoki, in an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas, where we are doing the very first TROUBADORK live stream of the new year, the year of Oh My Lord 2022. Wow. So, I kind of figured I'd just kind of ease into it and play some music and tell y'all about some of the stuff that's going on. Please do make the chat thingy light up over here. There's a chat thingy over here, and I think it works now. If you're watching this on Facebook's Tobias the Adequate page, hey Vax, yes, see, it does work. It's right there. Yeah. Excellent. I intend to bash at some songs here, stuff I haven't done for a while. I actually was practicing some stuff because I've been focusing a lot on my own original works because of a thing which I will talk about in a minute. But for now, I want to play a song here. Yeah. I think. Pretty sure it's this one. Yeah. Pretty sure it's this one. Just gonna adjust some things here. Little Jimmy Buffett to get our juices flowing here, I think. Well, now they make new movies in old black and white with happy endings where nobody fights. So if you find yourself in that nostalgic rage, honey, step right up and show your age. I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind, a two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket, and an autographed picture of Andy Devine. Oh, I remember being buck-toothed and skinny, writing fan letters to Sky's niece Penny. Well, I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache that I could solve some mysteries too. Well, it's a flat-top 30 mop, growing up fast, drinking on a fake ID. Well, a Rama of the jungle was everyone's Bawana, but only jazz musicians were smoking marijuana. I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, then I could solve some mysteries too. But it's a flat-top, dirty mop, copping a feel, grubbing on the living room floor, so sore. Well, they send you off to college trying to gain a little knowledge, but all you want to do is learn how to score. Well, now I'm getting old, I don't wear underwear, I don't go to church, and I don't cut my hair, but I can go to movies and see it all there, just the way that it used to be. That's why I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind, a two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket, and an autographed picture of Andy Devine. I could be anything that I wanted to be, maybe a Swave Errol Flynn or the Sheik of Araby. If I only had a pencil-thin mustache, then I could do some cruising too. Yeah, Brill cream, a little dabble do ya. I could do some cruising too. I gotta tell you, that came off a lot smoother in rehearsal when I didn't expect anyone was actually paying any attention, except for maybe my long-suffering wife downstairs. But yes, once again, we are here. I spent last Friday at my friend Mark's house. Mark Merlin, those of you who might know Merlin from the Sherwood Forest Fair and a few other places. He is, in fact, an audio engineer and record music producer. And we spent about 10 hours valiantly attempting to record enough music to make a musical album of music that I wrote, which in fact will be called And Then I Wrote, which in fact will be illustrated, the cover of which will be illustrated by the inimitable Mel White, who is also, I must make note, responsible for the illustration. I gotta bring that up there, and I should just be able to bring it up over here. Responsible for one of the finest pieces of illustration I have ever seen in my entire life. I can't believe I don't have it on here. Well, I'll put it on there, because I can. Because I am, as often, unprepared but enthusiastic. By golly, I'm certainly enthusiastic right now. That's for darn sure. Let me give this up here, because remember, the song that kind of started this whole mess was one that was inspired by my friend Cameron. That's right, possums. And I got to find it now. I put it around here somewhere. I know I have it. I just have to figure out where I have it. There it is. There it is. Hang on a sec. This is going to get really immense in a moment. Blam! Oh my god, it's so huge. Yes. the inimitable, but very large, Possums in a Trench Coat illustration. And I have asked Mel to do me a favor and to draw me an illustration for the album cover, which will be entitled And Then I Wrote. And I absolutely adore Mel's art. I've adored Mel's art for many, many years. And yes, these are the possums as we have been named them. As we have been named them? Really? As we had named them over the year plus of almost daily streams during the week. From the top down, we've got Geraldine, then Bob or Roberto, they're twins, Sophia, Cameron, Roberto or Bob, they're twins, and George, also known as Hatchback. Now, Cameron is the one over here. Cameron actually is the person that inspired the whole song by telling me one day that they honestly did not feel they were a human being, but that they were, in fact, three possums stacked one on top of the other in a trench coat. And I thought, well, if 3 possums was funny, 6 possums would be freaking hilarious. And that's how this whole thing got started, really. Let me see here. It goes something, but only something like this. Possums in a trench coat come to tea. Sit right at a table like you and me. Do they want another biscuit? Better give them 3, 'cause they're not really I got 6 possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat see a show. Do you give them just one seat or the entire front row? Do the possums in the middle just peek out through the buttons? Man, I got so many questions for 6 possums in a trench coat. There we go. Possums in a trench coat. See a show. Where was I going? That's right. I skipped over a verse. I did. You know why? Because I'm bringing this whole thing back again. And that's okay. When you screw up like that in a live show, it adds verisimilitude. That's right. Verisimilitude. I went to college. I learned that. And many other large words which I cannot use in a day-to-day conversation. That's all right. First show of the new year. Let's roll this back just a little bit, and we'll give it one more shot, shall we? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. All right. There we go. Possums in a trench coat go to tea. Sit right at a table like you and me. Do they want another biscuit? Better give them 3, 'cause they're not really I got 6 possums in a trench coat. Better pace. Possums in a trench coat go to town. Got themselves a Uber, couldn't flag it down. No, the driver didn't stop, no, he just kept on going 'cause he didn't want to drive 6 possums in a trench coat. The missing verse. Possums in a trench coat see a show. Do you give them just one seat or the entire front row? Do the possums in the middle just peek out through the buttons? Man, I got so many questions for 6 possums in a trench coat. There we are. Bridge. Bong. Possums in a trench coat on a date. We'll try that again. Really? Why can't you sing the damn words? Possums in a trench coat on a date. Got there 20 minutes early, couldn't stand to be late. Everything turned out to go much better than expected, 'cause the day turned out to be 6 possums in a caftan. I love a happy ending. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. 6 possums in a caftan. There, we got through that song and no one died. Probably. I don't know. I can't tell anymore. There's a little counter off the screen on this side, which tells me how many people in theory are watching my live stream at any given moment. And so far, with the exception of Fax, there's no other indication of life out there. Although Fax appears to be watching me both on Twitch and Facebook at the same time. Or is he just watching me on Twitch? It's hard to tell. That's okay. I'm all right with that. You know, I am honestly just happy to be doing the thing. Speaking of doing the thing, there are things I am going to be doing. I will be doing things. Yes, there will be things, and they will be done by me. Many of these things will actually be happening a couple of months from now. Because I have gotten booked for... You haven't seen the Facebook notification. I'm in there. I'm on the Tobias the Adequate page now, not the MP Laguerre page. Not the Adequate, but the Tobias the Adequate page now for the stream. Because that's what Streamlabs, no longer Streamlabs OBS, thanks to a lawsuit, will allow me to throw stuff at all of these pages all at once. And I paid for a 1-year subscription thanks to the generosity of the maniacs who continue to support me through my Patreon. But I've got Texas Furry Fiesta in March. I'm going to be doing 3 shows, a Friday show, a Saturday show, and a Sunday show, all at 2:30, according to the current schedule. Schedule subject to change, of course. Then I will be at the Sherwood Forest Fair, coming back to Sherwood to do my music, having inflicted the Troubadourk show on the Sherwood Forest Fair's Celtic Festival this last year. The entertainment director is foolish enough to bring me back for 3 weekends. The first 3 weekends in April, I will be doing that there. I'm going to come visit Scarborough for Memorial Day weekend, but I am not booked for it. I may still come armed and may play a few songs because I have finally, after 2 years and maybe 3 years at this point, it's really hard to tell, finally finished the song for Jana Zepp, God Help the Queen. A light tale about how hard it is to be Queen Margaret of Scotland and the Isles when you've got all of these weird Scottish people to reign over a goofy jock younger brother who's currently trying to rule England south of you, and people wandering up all over the place claiming to be long-lost relatives. That's God Help the Queen, which I will probably try to inflict on Jana first because she asked for it. But if she just happens to show up for one of these shows, then I will certainly do that because I don't have anything better to do with my time. The streams are going to continue to be about every other week for a while. I am currently still working Monday through Friday. They still want me to come into the office, so I don't have the excuse of not having a commute to do this in anymore. Oh, I should mention one other thing in the stuff that Tobias is doing category. Artisanal Gibberish Book 3, yet more further gibberish, or further yet more gibberish, or yet even further more still gibberish, has been submitted to my editor. She cursed a lot. She actually logged the very first Goddammit Laguerre of 2022. For those of you who are keeping track of this, there were 33 Goddammit Laguerre incidents in 2021, which is down, according to my notes here, down from a whopping 56 Goddammit Laguerre incidents in 2020. Now, I don't think this means that I am slacking off in any way. I do think this means that y'all are getting more inured to it than you were in the beginning. But that's just me. Oh my goodness, what else can we talk about here? What else can we do? We can do some more songs. I think more songs might be appropriate. I mean, after all, this is theoretically a music show. I want to do this one. I haven't done this one for a while. I will perform Quigley's song, The Captain's Log. Yeah, that's how it goes. Oh, the name of the ship on which we sail is a jolly roving dog, and the crew be bold, the boatswain's old, and we all do love a grog. The captain was the toughest man whatever sailed the seas, until one thing finally struck him down, was a nasty French disease. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Oh, the captain finally met his match, old France, she finally won. The first mate sat beside him for the setting of the sun, and the last words of the captain to the good crew of the Dog was that none shall ever take his place till they find the captain's log. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. So we searched down in the scuppers and we searched up in the nest. For a time we kept our spirits high with witty words and jest, but soon a gloom enveloped us thick as a pea soup fog. For no matter where we looked, we could not find the captain's log. Oh, we sailed the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. So at last we took to the great big book that the captain brought to sea, in which he put each day's events as written history. But no matter where we searched inside the vast and lofty tome, we could not find where the captain's log had chosen for to roam. Oh, we sailed the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. For the many logs that we did find, they all did look the same. But we never have found the piece of wood inscribed with the captain's name. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Yes, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Ole. I'm feeling a little bit better. I honestly feel like I've been out of practice a lot. When we were doing the recording session, there was one song that was actually a bigger pain in the butt to try to record than any other song, and it was in fact this one, the Ballad of the Dreaded Peasant Festus. Let me tell you something about this song. This is not a hard song. It isn't. It's very simple. And yet, the number of boating accidents that occurred in it hit a point at which I said, you know what, we should just stop doing this and do something else. Now, Mark, of course, is more than willing to continue to let it roll because he doesn't know what my process is. But I knew I was getting very frustrated. Which is why, well, I have a video for this, as a matter of fact. The Ballad of the Dreaded Peasant Festus, which I posted on the Tobias the Adequate Facebook page and also at my YouTube channel. This was made with a program to recreate various parts and components of the Bayou Tapestry, allowing you to pretty much put together anything you wanted to, like you were doing a collage. And that entire thing is up. It's about a 6-minute video, although 1 minute of it is just a very long take on the final credit title card so that everyone can actually see it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that a lot, Fax. It was a lot of fun to make. And when we have the full produced version of this song, which I have to say our current theory is to go way overproduced. So he's really looking forward to adding a lot of crap to it. When I do that, then I will redo the video to go with the music. And I'm also learning something about doing this kind of video versus doing any other kind of video. When you have like title cards to keep flashing through, it really helps to use a program that's designed for by the nanosecond divisions of the timeline. iMovie is good for a lot of things. It's not so good for this. I may have to go back and abuse some of my connections and get another copy of Adobe Premiere to roll that out. A lot of trumpet frills? Yeah. I mean, we're trumpet frills, strings, possibly chorus, timpanis, all kinds of crap. I could do that song right now, as a matter of fact. As it says in the notes, play with unjustified grandeur. And now a song about a man who came from humble origins and stayed there. He came from a tiny village just outside of Aberdeen, and his face, it was not noble, and his clothes, they were not clean. But there's often been a hero who has come from such a start. Our man Festus wasn't one of them. He was neither brave nor smart. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. And now a part of the song you rarely get to hear. Tobias scooting over to close the door so you don't have to listen to the furnace. That's much better. There are some men bound for glory, bound for riches or for fame, and among the noble roll call you will not find Festus's name, for his voice, it was not noble, nor his bearing very fine, and he towered over no one at the height of 4'9". There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. But from lowly circumstances some men rise among the rest. Not that Festus ever tried hard, well, that there is my own guess. But in noble battles some men can achieve beyond compare. And on the battlefield of Hastings, our man Festus was not there. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, and the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. Thoughtful part. There are legendary figures. That's right, I said it, I said figures. Doomed to fade away obscure. And our peasant Festus suits that. At least we think we're pretty sure. There is not much known of Festus. Peasantry builds little pride. Matter of fact, all that we're sure of. Well, we're all pretty sure he died. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land. But the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. And there's that one. What was very interesting during the performance of the dreaded peasant Festus is I watched the little counter that comes up over here off screen, and it went from 1 to 2, and then back to 1. I scared someone away. I am the nichiest of niche markets. I am your niche market internet micro celebrity. That's been my dream for years, and it's finally coming true. Now I can finally bask in the relative obscurity that I truly feel I deserve. Excellent. It is not easy to do this. It's hard to get back into the rhythm. It's hard to get back into the groove. And my timing is not always the same as everybody else's, which is why I do put the stuff up on the YouTubes and the Facebooks so that y'all can watch it when it's convenient for you to do so. Because I understand I am still pretty big in syndication. Yeah. I did mention that I would be performing at Sherwood Forest Fair, and that's over in McDade, Texas. Basically, go to Austin, get on 290, go 290 East. Drive until you think you have gone too far. Drive farther, and there it is. It's about an hour and a half out of Austin. It's actually about an hour and a half out of San Antonio if you don't take the major freeways. I learned this, and that is why I will be driving the back roads for this. I will also be having a slightly different costume because it is a medieval fair, not a Renaissance festival. I do say that now the official Tobias the Adequate Doublet of Doom Mark II is out there and is ready to be inflicted upon an unsuspecting world. We're going to probably come visit the Kerrville Renaissance Festival, which happens at the end of this month and then the first weekend of February. I am not booked for it. I'm considering pitching for it. I don't know if they'll ever let me in or not. It's hard to tell. But I work cheap, so you know. If you know a guy. I mean, you already have one musician there, Ermagerd the Bird, who I think is a fantastic performer and one of the best names I've ever seen. I mean, let's be honest. It's real hard to top that if you're a music act. Speaking of music, I should probably do some more. How about I do a thing? I'll do a thing. I'm going to do a song that I wrote, because I can. Because I ought to, honestly. Yeah. Well, first we're going to check to see, because we are reached about the halfway mark in the show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached halfway through the show. Watching the tuner react to my speech is fascinating. Yeah. I am all over the place. I have been told on more than one occasion that I could, in fact, harmonize with a bagpipe. But, you know, I'm just a humble tenor. I'm just a guy sitting in a chair with a polycarbonate ukulele attempting to make some people make those faces that you make when you are amused by something on the internet, but you don't want to make a lot of noise because you might inadvertently draw attention to yourself. You know, that internet face thing. I honestly want to encourage people to like make all kinds of faces because, well, when the live shows are amazing like that because people react. It always surprises me too. No matter how many live shows I will ever do, I will always be gleeful about the responses that I get. This is one of the songs that's going to be on the album. There are in fact two songs that sound like this that I wrote. I'll do the other one in a little bit. It starts in C. As do I. Do you know my friend from Fair? Do you know my friend from Fair? He's 4 foot taller, and he's got browner sandy hair. And he has a hat and tankard, and he wears these great big boots. And he wanders around in a loincloth or one of them doublet suits. The first time I played this for Mark, he pretty much lost his mind. It was great. fair? Do you know my friend from fair? He's a unique individual, no one else can compare. For he always sings or juggles as he goes about the town, and he always has a great big sword that ought to narrow it down. Stands out in the crowd. He is distinctive. Do you know my friend from fair? Do you know my friend from fair? If you saw him coming down the lane, you'd have to stop and stare. Don't recall if it's pickles, pretzels, or if it's popcorn that he sells. You can hear him coming from a mile away on account of that he wears bells. Jingle bang, jingle, like a Morris dancer in a minefield. Do you know my friend from fair? Do you know my friend from fair? He's the coolest guy in all the world, I truly do declare. If you saw my pal in person, then you'd know of whom I speak. For he dresses like a pirate, now isn't that unique? Yep, pirate, with pointy ears. Elf pirate. And gossamer wings, fairy elf pirate. And a kilt. Scottish fairy elf pirate. And horns. Demon Scottish fairy elf pirate. And fangs. Vampire demon Scottish fairy elf pirate. And leather goggles with gears on them. Steampunk vampire demon Scottish fairy elf pirate. Big furry boots. Barbarian, steampunk, vampire, demon, Scottish fairy elf pirate. And a foxtail. Nobody knows why. Do you know my friend from fair? I think I saw him over there. His name is Wolf or Hawk or Raven, or I think it might be Bear. Well, we've never met outside of fair, but I'm sure he'll be along. Hey, wait a minute. I'm talking about you. I guess I'll end this song. And there's that one. The song will eventually collapse under its own weight. I'm still trying to figure out how to work Vikings in. But I already got the horns and from the demons, so I'm not sure where to go with that. This show is not brought to you by Rambler Seltzer. I am brought to you by Rambler Seltzer. I think my bloodstream is about 20% this and 45% Diet Coke right now. This show is brought to you by the chords C, F, and G, with occasional appearances by D and A, E, occasional F sharp major. That's a minor, actually. But, you know, that's because there's a lot of strings here, and I'm still figuring out what these strings are for. I'm working on another song called Pet Me and Tell Me I'm Pretty, because I think we've all been in that kind of mood at least once during this entire bloody pandemic, where we're just tired of being responsible human beings. We'd rather be a cat for a little while, just have someone pet us and tell us we're pretty, feed us, and be kind to us until we get tired of the situation. I will play you a very short fragment of this, because I haven't written the whole thing yet, and it actually took me far longer to come up with the chords to this. Extraordinarily annoying. The chorus, though, is going something like, pet me and tell me I'm pretty. Don't wanna be responsible, just be adored. Come love me and feed me until I get bored. Pet me and tell me I'm pretty. See, I need to write the rest of that. It really needs to be written a lot. I'm currently wearing my I want to kind of want a human. I want a cat now. Today I want to cat. Yes. Let me do another one. I will do... I actually had to explain how to spell kaiju to somebody, to Mark, when I did Kaiju Coffee. I really dig this song a lot. This is one of the few reasons I have for getting an effects pedal that will work with an acoustic ukulele that has 2 piezoelectric pickups. Because I want to get a little gunch and grunge into that one. Because you want to get that kind of feedback thing. And I can do it too on my not terribly expensive little amp. But if I'm patching into somebody else's sound system, which I hope I will be at Texas Furry Fiesta, then I need something where I can just do like a pedal thing and make make it dirtier. And this is the song that my friend Izzy, whose taste in music I trust, deemed surf punk. And considering the fact it's a giant radioactive monster living in the ocean, I have absolutely no reason to doubt them. Kaiju, Kaiju coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju, Kaiju coffee, helps them not fall asleep from the depths of the sea to the city downtown. Kaiju gotta get up and start roaming around. But that decades-long slumber is too hard to shake off. What they need is a gallon of that bubbly back stuff. Kaiju, Kaiju coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju, Kaiju coffee, helps them not fall asleep. Just because you're a giant don't mean that you don't have needs. Sometimes some liquid ambition helps you perform great deeds. You gotta level a city, nothing in the AM. You wanna take a side slide to get you going again. Kaiju, Chunka, Kaiju coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju, Kaiju coffee, helps them not fall asleep. Giant robots sneak you, and then a kaiju does too. You gotta grab you a gallon of that bubbly black brew. A kaiju cannot breathe fire if the stove is not lit. Drink down a macchiato, and that flame will not quit. Kaiju, Kaiju coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju, Kaiju coffee, helps them not fall asleep. Kaiju, blackout pyro. I have no special effects budget, but if I did, if I was ending a show with Kaiju coffee, which I may very well end my TFF shows with because they have that whole under the ocean theme going, I'm going to tell them that when I do that and I hit that spot, please turn off the main lights on the stage and make all the strobes and the lights, spinny things go crazy. I don't think that'll happen, but it'll be what I ask them to do. Because we have absolutely zero production values here at the Tobias the Adequate TROUBADORK show. I always feel better after doing that song. It makes me feel good. Let's just kind of stagger headlong into another song, I think. I think another song is good. I think we will do... Keeping in the aquatic creature theme, let's do one of the songs that was suggested to me and inspired by my friend Kay, and Kay actually inspired me. It's another cartoon from Cat's Cafe. This came out fairly early in the pandemic when people were getting people were getting to the point where they're locking themselves into the houses and such. This one is not a crunchy surf punk tune. This is much more the kind of like Fish, kind of jam band, kind of Jerry Garcia. 4.5 hour version. I won't play the 4.5 version. It's actually 3.5 hours and 47 minutes of this. Platypus postman. Platypus postman. Neither rain nor snow nor sleet nor hail can make the platypus postman fail. Even in a flood he is still not stuck, 'cause the platypus postman swims like a duck. Breathe! Platypus postman. Platypus postman. Even through the mud they can't be beat, yeah, they never sink because of their web feet. Not a dog will chase him or leave a mark, 'cause the hounds are too darn confused to bark. Platypus granola. Platypus postman, science time. In the gloom of night he'll safely walk, 'cause the platypus postman glows in the dark. I'm not kidding. It's the darndest thing that you've ever seen, for the postman's bioluminescent green. That's science, baby! Platypus postman. Platypus postman. In the coldest rain they won't demur, they're protected by their thick coarse fur. Of all the postcards on the scene, only one of them is a monotremes. I'm very proud of that one. Platypus postman. Platypus postman. Believe in the platypus postman. He's got my mail. Platypus postman. I just wanted that to end pretty. I don't know why. Platypus postman. Cat's Cafe, by the way. You can find Cat's Cafe here. Pretty much anywhere. They've got a Facebook page. They're on Twitter. They were on Twitter. They're on Reddit. They're all over the place. It's a really fun and very wholesome comic. And I firmly believe that wholesome is the new punk. Because in this age of inflamed, violent, angry behavior and performative cruelty, being wholesome is punk as heck. Which is another song I'm working on, as a matter of fact, about being wholesome. Because frankly, I feel that being wholesome is an act of rebellion much greater than any that have come before it in the context of our current zeitgeist. And there I have said zeitgeist on a live stream that's going to Twitch. Something terrible could happen now. All right, more things. Let's do more things. Why don't we do more things? Hey, man, why don't we do more things? I will do another song. I will do a song that I really enjoyed. I did not record this one. I ran out of batteries before he did, but that's all right. This song was originally a one-off gag. I posted to Facebook talking about how we know about wizarding games and such, but very few people know about the very obscure seafaring wizarding game known as Squidditch. That's right, Squidditch. Please don't sue me, Warner Brothers. It is played on mops, and yes, it involves a squid being thrown. And this drawing right here is by the inimitable Michael Van Slyke, and it is in fact me and my lovely wife who is hurling a squid at my face. Didn't ask him to draw that. He did anyway. And when I wrote this song, I discovered something. Because I wrote the song, and then I realized, much to my chagrin, that I had, in fact, only mentioned the name of the game once in the entire song. So I had to add a cheer of Yay Squidditch at the end of the chorus, hoping that I can get the people in the audience to shout Yay Squidditch and make me feel less stupid about things. So, we'll see how that goes. There are valiant wizards a world around who seek and block and fly, but those wizards fly above the ground, they drop too fast, they die. Us sailing wizards have a game that's grand from start to finish. I speak, of course, of the legendary seafaring game of Squidditch. Don't sue us, Warner Brothers. Oh, mount your mops and soar above the briny waves so blue. We flit and fly and drink and try to score a point or two. No puny ball would have the gall to blood your stern amid, and you also have the chance to belch your best friend with a squid. Yay, Squidditch! Load up on rum and bring your chum, shine up your fly and mop, for the game is played from dusk till dawn or till all the players drop. No points are scored, no numbered board will tell you if we won. But if all of us are in the drink, I guess the game is done. 'Cause there's no such thing as water squidditch, there's just, oi, everybody's falling off the mop, mate. Oh, mount your mops and soar above the briny waves so blue. We flit and fly and drink and try to score a point or two. No puny ball would have the gall to blood your sternum mid, and you also have the chance to belch your best friend with a squid. Yay, Squidditch! A game of skill and daring, it calls for all your wit and luck. If you see a cephalopod fly by, well, I'd suggest you duck, for you have to stay upon your mop, and that takes all your wits, for the squid will try to cuddle just whatever it is it hits. Which is why squids are also known as, wait for it, cuttlefish. Not sorry! Mount your mops and soar above the briny waves so blue. We flit and fly and drink and try to score a point or two. No puny ball would have the gall to blood your sternum mid, and you also have the chance to belch your best friend with the squid. Yay, Squidditch! We swoop and dive and spin and strive and carrying into space, 'cause you never know when you'll end up with a squid stuck to your face. Ew, for the peril here is very real, and that, my friend, is that for a sailor's game time's ending with a damn resounding splat. Actually, it's not the sound that a squid makes when it adheres to your face. It's more along the lines of a sh, but I can't rhyme that, and I've tried. Oh, mount your mops and soar above the briny waves so blue. We flit and fly and drink and try to score a point or two. No puny ball would have the gall to blood your sternum mid, and you also have the chance to belch your best friend with a squid. Yay, Squidditch! It's been a blast, done far too fast, we all are in the drink, and you cannot tell whose team is which because of all the ink. 'Cause it's a squid. Well, I guess that means the game is through. The squid has swum away. Let's clean up ourselves and go dry off and brag about the day. Because no matter how many times you tell it, friends, the tale of when Brad caught a squid directly in the mush never ever gets old. Oh, mount your mops and soar above the briny waves so blue. We flit and fly and drink and try to score a point or two. No puny ball would have the gall to blood your sternum mid, and you also have the chance to belch your best friend with a squid. You also have the chance to belch your best friend with a squid. The point of this game is you can hit your best friend with a squid. Yay, Squidditch! Olay. Ow. Welcome to Songs That Destroyed Tobias's Hand. Now that I think about it, I think I did in fact record this particular song, because when I got to the cuttlefish line, I got to watch Mark's face. And the look of quiet outrage he had. It was good. It was good. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with me. We will continue to try to do this about every other weekend on Sundays around 2 p.m. Central, assuming I don't have a gig that gets me out of here or something other big happens. I am very much a enthusiastic hobbyist at this point. So if you want to throw money at me, please, I have no shame. Go ahead and do it. Come to the shows that I'm at. Come to the conventions that I'm at. I have applied for a metric buttload of conventions, which is slightly larger than a metric crapload of conventions, which is slightly larger than a metric F-ton of conventions, but that's another conversation for another day. I think that before I get into the rest of the plugs and such, and you see the plugs are just crawling along here. I have drank way too much seltzer, so I'm now belching in the middle of all of this stuff. I would like to do a song which I have not done for a while, which I feel I will do, and I should do. It is a celebratory song, and I can't do it everywhere because I need a mechanical license for some of it. But I can do it here, and I think it's appropriate, and I think it's a good song to wrap up this show with. I will do more songs in a couple of weeks because I have a lot of them. I'm really startled at just how many songs I do have. This song sounds like it ought to be a Victorian music hall song, and I have to tell you right now, I absolutely adore Victorian music hall songs. It is not, in fact, a Victorian music hall song, but I think it ought to be. It was written to sound like one, and the first time I heard it at the Dickens Christmas Fair, or the Great Victorian Christmas Fair of Charles Dickens, London, in the music hall there. It's Eat Bertha's Mussels, and if you feel like singing along, I don't see any reason you shouldn't, because you don't have to worry about being embarrassed, because you're at home. Eat Bertha's mussels, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a sailor came to Bertha's with a problem most severe. His manly pride had been atrophied by a voyage of 14 years. While he ate a plate of mussels, now he sings in a different key. His ship set right, he'll be back there tonight, and he's not going back to sea. So eat Bertha's mussels, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a lady came to Bertha's who wanted a daughter or son. The doctors had said with a shake of their heads that she couldn't have either one. Well, she ate a plate of mussels and went home to her husband dear. Hi, babe, she tuned up his cruth, and to tell ya the truth, they had triplets the very next year. So eat Bertha's mussels, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. They will cure your diarrhea, thank God, cure your constipation too. Just follow a box for the chicken pox, for the measles, or the flu. So if you fancy a healthy life, get your daily dosage straight. A plate a day of Bertha's mussels, and you'll live till you're 98. So eat Bertha's mussels, yum! They're the best there is by far. By far, you can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar, when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat. Just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. And so we come, battered, bruised, slightly confused, to the conclusion of yet another hopefully successful Tobias the Adequate Troubadourk bi-weekly random Troubadorkery live stream pandemic coping mechanism. I'm sitting in a room making noise, sending it out to you folks show. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, those of you watching live, and those of you who are watching in reruns, because I'm big in syndication after all. We will attempt to do this every other Sunday, right around 2 p.m. or so, barring force majeure. And I may randomly do more of this here and there. I am your internet niche market micro celebrity, Tobias the Adequate, the Troubadourk, as it says right over here. The thing. It's good to be seen, frankly. It's nice to verify that I still exist. A couple of things real quick. Let's just get them all out of the way. Of course, Troubadourk is sponsored by Unruly Voices Publishing, unrulyvoices.com, which is publishing both Volume 1, Volume 2, and the soon-to-come Volume 3, that's right, 3, of Artisanal Gibberish, which will be followed by the inevitable anthology, and yet, there is a threat of a 4th volume of Artisanal Gibberish. I am making my editor curse. I should also make a note of this. I have an editor, I have a publisher, and now I have a music producer. I have people. They're not like my people full time, but I have people. I never expected to have people. I expected to be people for people. And yet, here we are. I have people. It's weird. It's wacky, it's magnificent, and it's really kind of terrifying at the same time. Patreon.com is my patron peeps. The tip jar is paypal.me/theadequate. Venmo is @theadequate, and Cash App is also now $@theadequate. Those are all of the ones that I have right now. Like I said, Texas Furry Fiesta is happening in March. Sherwood Forest Fair is the first 3 weekends in April. I'll be doing 3 shows a day, probably on the Villagers stage, which is not too far from the carousel and the bar near the carousel. Can't remember the name of the bar near the carousel. I will be taking steps to make sure that I'm heard over the amplified bar near the carousel. You can go to The Adequate for all of the stuff I now have. TheAdequate.com has everything, including the live concert videos that I actually have in place, with the exception of the very first one, the dreaded Saturday night show at Steampunk November 2018. I am doing my damnedest to be at Steampunk November when they have it again, because they started this mess, and by God, they have to clean up after themselves. Yeah, I think that's about everything. So be good to yourselves. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. Be safe, be careful. We're still in a pandemic. Wear your mask, get your shots, wash your hands. Don't do horse liniment. Don't drink your own pee. For the love of God. Honestly, don't listen to Joe Rogan. Cherish and hoard your sense of outrage, because a lot of the people out there who are trying to get you outraged on the internet are doing it specifically so that they get credit for making you outraged on the internet. They've actually found a way to monetize being a troll, and it sucks. So be careful who you expend your anger on. And I very much want to thank my Patreon patrons. Their names are now scrolling down across the bottom of the screen, which is good because I forgot to bring up the piece of paper that has all their names on it. But that is Jen and Joe and Alexi and Austin and Chris and Teppo Arman in Finland. And Noah and Linda and Anne and Stephen and Rob and Alicia and Relly and BK and Richard and Bree and Lorene, my long-suffering editor, without whom I would be slightly less motivated to do this goofy behavior. But I will continue to do this goofy behavior because it fulfills me in weird ways. So that's all there is. Patreon.com/theadequate. I have posted a Carl Seller, the it's either Kaisarikanit or Carl Sellerikanit, depending who you talk to, video on TikTok, and I dare anyone to duet me with it. Underwear is optional. Troubadourk is, of course, sponsored by Unruly Voices Publishing and unofficially sponsored by Carpe Diem Comics in McKinney, Texas. Also unofficially sponsored by Grabs and Buys the Karat und Straws am the Window, the informative pamphlet of self-defense by Master Oscar Hasselhoff, German Master of Defense. And as soon as he manages to intimidate a printer into printing it again, we will have more copies of that. I guarantee. I promise you. And that's enough out of me for another night. Y'all take care. You all have been marvelous. Thank you for supporting my behavior. I'll see you guys next time.